pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our sixth episode in the sixth day in the blessed month of Ramadan 1441, live Ask Huda. And I would like to remind you with our phone numbers and the contact informations in the beginning of this episode. Area code 002, then 02 855 131. Alternatively, area code 002, then 01 005 469323. And the WhatsApp numbers, area code 001 347 80625. And finally, WhatsApp number, area code 001 361 489 1503. Abdul Majid has a question during this Ramadan. Can someone cook for me iftar when she is not a Muslim but she says she's a maid in the house? Yes, that is permissible. What is not permissible is what some Muslims do when they cook and they distribute food even to non-Muslims during the daytime of Ramadan. It is not permissible to feed any person during the time of fasting. Only the elders who are not capable to fast, then they are exempt from fasting. Those who are sick and they're exempt from fasting, the travelers. So those who have a concession, a valid concession to skip fasting. But to give food and to feed people even in restaurants to people who are not fasting, even if they're non-Muslims, that is not permissible. But non-Muslims preparing the food for iftar for you, a maid or a restaurant or a chef, that is permissible. Awal Shu'aib is asking, is it a part of the sunnah to ask for forgiveness from everyone before the commencement of Ramadan? Please kindly forgive me wherever I have wronged. Okay. It is recommended normally to ask people to pardon you, particularly if you know that you have hurt this person or that person, you have taken the wealth of that person, hurt the feeling of this person, and there is a dispute. Whenever you feel that you've wronged someone, you better rush to seek forgiveness from them. Not only due to the commencement of Ramadan or prior to performing Hajj or Umrah, this is definitely recommended, but throughout the time, because the Prophet ﷺ commanded all Muslims to hasten to do tahallul min al-madhalim. What is at-tahallul min al-madhalim? To ask those whom you have wronged to pardon you and forgive you. Because if you don't, and you die in this condition, the person will be in trouble. You're building up a huge asset of good deeds, but they will come on the day of judgment demanding the rights. Whether those rights were financial, in the form of money that you have taken away from them, or the rights were moral. So there is no money, there is no compensation. You're not going to sue somebody to get some money out of him, but there is only good deeds and bad deeds. So they will keep taking from your good deeds until they vanish. And then the person will be bankrupt. No one wants to go through this. So in Ramadan, it is a month of forgiveness, but it forgives the sins between you and Allah. Sins between you and others, human beings, for instance, won't be forgiven automatically unless if you ask them to pardon you. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Zainab from Switzerland. Sister Zainab, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Sheikh.
Welcome to Ask Huda.
Sheikh, I have a question, and this is, does the cupping and give blood to a sick person, does this break the fast?
Okay. Barakallah feekum. Thank you, Sister Zainab. As far, Assalamu alaikum. Umar from Nigeria, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, how are you?
I'm doing great, alhamdulillah, akhi. Thank you. Go ahead.
Sheikh, my question is, how can a man living in a different city from his wife, name his child according to the Islamic rights, taking into consideration how he can't travel home due to the lockdown and so on.
Okay.
And there's no ram to cut, etc.
Umar, I understand that you are asking about some rights of the child and lockdown and they cannot travel. Can you please rephrase your question?
No.
Umar?
Naam, check.
Can you repeat your question, please?
My question.
Umar?
In this period where there's lockdown, he can't go and buy ram and he's away from his family.
Okay. Again, what happened is we lost the first segment of your question. Maybe you're asking about a child or a son who's away from the family due to the lockdown. One more attempt, then inshallah, perhaps you can call back. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Nabila from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Brother and
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Nabila,
My
go ahead.
question is, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Our maids are on leave, but we are paying them since 2 months. So can we count this salary as zakat? Since they're not working, but we are still paying them. This is my question.
Okay, that's a good question.
Thank
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Sarah from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum. Sarah, assalamu alaikum. Please try again. Sister Zainab asked about cupping while fasting. There is a difference of opinion whether cupping while fasting invalidates fasting or not. The vast majority of the scholars, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Malik, are of the view that it is permissible, and the Prophet ﷺ actually undergone cupping while muhrim, while in a state of ihram, and while fasting as well. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal said it invalidates fasting due to a hadith after al-hajim wal-mahjum or al-muhtajim, the person who does cupping and the person who goes through the cupping or undergoes cupping, both that will invalidate their fasting. But the fact of the matter that this hadith is abrogated, and the practice and the actions of the Prophet ﷺ are much louder as far as the effect of the verdict. So according to the vast majority of the scholars, whether you are the cupper himself or the person who is receiving the cupping, it is permissible to do it while fasting. This is again the opinion of Imam Malik al-Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa in this respect. And Aisha radiallahu anha, people used to do i'tikaf, used to do cupping, and she was aware of that, such as Abdullah ibn Abbas and Ikrimah, may Allah be pleased with him. They narrated that كنا نحتجم عند عائشة ونحن صيام وبنو أخي عائشة فلا تنهاهم. So Aisha's nephews would go through cupping and would have cupping, and she wouldn't forbid them. They used to do that while fasting. And I'd like to take advantage of this question, because after I went home yesterday, I remember there was a question from China, Ali, that we ran out of time and we didn't get to tackle, who said that Ali was calling from China, but he's coming from Pakistan, and he said in his background, people perceive the Hanafi as their religion, and it is not permissible even to explore other madhahib or to study different views. Why? Because you're born and raised like Hanafi. And I can assure you this is absolutely wrong. This is totally false. This is pure prejudice. And I can assure you, if Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, may Allah have mercy on him and may Allah be pleased with him, was alive today, he would have followed the opinion of any of the late or the contemporary scholars once it is proven to be sound or relying on a sound hadith. Because even during his life, he confirmed, excuse me, if the hadith is proven to be sound and authentic, then this is my madhab. Which means, in other words, إذا صح الحديث فهو مذهبي. I may give an opinion based on the available references. Somebody else has given a different opinion. Then we realize that the opinion of the other person is based on a sound hadith, then automatically this is my madhab. Okay? But those who come afterward, they converted the madhab and the school of thought of Imam Abu Hanifa in many cases into cultural belief, not religious. Because if it is based on religious values, shouldn't be a problem. So, what I studied from my childhood, we studied the different madhahib. We studied the Hanafi, the school of Imam Abu Hanifa, the Maliki, school of Imam Malik, and Shafi'i, the school of Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, and the Hanbali, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. All of that within the same school. But initially, you have to be well versed in one madhab. You specialize in one madhab, not sect, not group, not different religion or different ideology. The aqidah is united. The belief is the same. The differences are concerning the matters of the furu' of the fiqh and the ahkam of do's and do not do's and halal and haram, the hayat of the salah and the rest of the ahkam of the zakah and fasting and so on. Like I just give an example. Here we say Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal has a different view than the rest of the vast majority of the scholars. So I presented to you and I said, well, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal is based on a hadith which has been abrogated. So what do you say if you're Hanbali? If you're born and raised in Saudi, you say, I'm only taking the opinion of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal and I'm not taking any other opinion? Of course not. Because Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Ahl Sunnah, if he's alive, he wouldn't have done that. Then after we study for 7 years a particular madhab, you enter into the blender of studying the excuse me, for another 4 to 5 years based on your college, the comparative fiqh. This is all undergraduate. So you know the same mas'ala and the different views, different verdicts, and based on what? So as a student and as a seeker of knowledge, you will be capable to find out where is the truth and which opinion is more correct, if there is correct and more correct, or which opinion is correct if the other opinion is based on a weak or fabricated hadith, which definitely the Imam at that time wasn't aware of that. It's as simple as that. But when you say we, it's all geographical. Yani, if you as Pakistani were born and raised in Egypt, definitely you wouldn't do the same if you were born and raised in Pakistan or in Turkey or in China or in the States. The States, the USA, North America, whether the USA or Canada, is a perfect example of the blender where we have multicultural communities. Excuse me. So in the same masjid, we have 15, 19, and 20 different nationalities. They're all Muslims. So we pray behind an imam. The imam says, I'm Hanafi. So he's praying 20 rak'ahs in Taraweeh. No problem. The imam in the Saudi masjid is praying 8 rak'ahs and the witr. No problem. This is valid and this is valid. So there are issues which are okay to do this or that. There are disputed matters. So the seekers of knowledge and the ulama would recommend to you and say, take this one. It's either the correct or the more correct. What is the difference? Big difference. When we say this is the correct view, that means there is no other view. Even if it is a view that is adopted in your madhab, dismiss it. The more correct, we have 2 different views, but this is more correct. So you have the choice to follow whether the correct or the more correct. Obviously, the more correct is better. I hope the matter of the khilaf, the difference between the ulama and the founders of the schools of fiqh does not divide the ummah and cause segregation, where people become so close-minded and they think we are born according to this madhab. I want to ask you a question. I know that there are a lot of callers online, but this is serious. Do you guys know when was Imam Abu Hanifa born? When did he start seeking knowledge? Well, I know, but do you know? Many of the people who say, I'm Hanafi, I'm Hanafi. If you ask anyone, do you know a name of a book that Imam Abu Hanifa authored? Do you know who are his students? And do you know whether they were on the same page or they differed with him? I don't know much about that. So why you're so stubborn? Why you're acting so prejudiced? And you think it is a different religion. Yes, I have heard that. My religion is like a different religion. No, brothers and sisters. Imam Abu Hanifa was born on the 80 years after the migration. So there will be tons of ulama from as-Sahaba and at-Tabi'een and the followers of at-Tabi'een before Imam Abu Hanifa. So before Imam Abu Hanifa was a scholar, how did people live? How did they get married? How did they pay their zakat? They did not know? Of course they did know. But those ulama, they compiled the fiqh ahkam in one curriculum, whether verbally, so their students transmitted that to us, or they have put that in books such as Al-Imam al-Shafi'i in his book Al-Umm. And to be continued, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Abid from India, assalamu alaikum. Are you still there?
Abdul, yes.
Go ahead, please. You're live on Ask Huda. Can you hear me? I don't want to hang up because you've been waiting for a long time. I want to make it up for you. Sister Kulthum from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions. First one is, do you have to make niyyah every day before Fajr for the fast of Ramadan? Today I didn't make it because I forgot. I remember after the Fajr. So can you explain this, please? And another thing is, in my country, my dad's neighbors he has some lands. My question is, I want to know, is he allowed to have zakat money because they are struggling, but he has some lands. So now they are saying they are struggling. So can I give him zakat?
Right. That is your second question, but I didn't get your first question, Kulthum. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay. You have to make niyyah for intention for the fast every day before Fajr time?
Okay. So I got your question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Sarah from Egypt, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I wanted to ask if we have a recording of qunut with dua or like Quran dua, are we allowed to play the recording in the witr or any sunnah and follow it with ameen as if we are in congregation if our Arabic is not that good to make up our own dua?
Okay.
My second question is the question I asked yesterday about the iman going up and down.
The imam going up and down?
Iman goes up, but why does it go up and down? Some days I can pray many sunnahs and feel very close to God, and the next day I have struggled even focusing.
The iman, yes. I got your question.
Okay,
increasing and decreasing one's iman.
Yes.
Okay. All right. With regards to praying and hearing the qunut, the supplication, from an audio device and saying, Ameen, no, don't do that. You know, Sister Sarah, you don't have to be an Arab to make your own supplication. I said, in the position which the servant will be the closest to Allah, that is sujood. A lot of people, I would say this is the most frequently asked question ever since I started presenting this program 16 years ago. Can I recite the supplication in my mother tongue? Yes. And excuse me. And every year in Hajj, I say when you're making tawaf and on the day of Arafah, stop reading from a paper or a notepad. Communicate with Allah from your heart. Don't you have any needs? Of course. Oh Allah, give shifa to my mom. Say it in your language. No problem. You know, the witr, the qunut in the witr prayer is sunnah. So if you just learn how to say, Allahumma hdini fi man hadayt wa afini fi man afayt. That's it. And it's sunnah, whether you say it or not. Then in sujood, and by the end of tashahhud, before concluding the prayer, supplicate as much as you can. Maybe you're still in school, you're going through your finals. Oh Allah, make it easy for me to pass the test, or make it easy for me to get married, make it easy for me to conceive, to have, etc. In your mother tongue, it is okay. You know, my dear brothers and sisters, it's in the sound hadith that once the Prophet ﷺ was chatting with a Bedouin, and he asked him whether he invokes Allah and supplicates. He said, yeah, but لا أحسن دندنتك ولا دندنة معاذ. I'm not as fluent as you and Mu'adh ibn Jabal. So I say humble things. I cannot phrase my supplication, and those are Arab. He said, I'm not as fluent as you guys, you and Mu'adh ibn Jabal. He said, why don't you share with me what do you say in your supplication? He said, I ask Allah to take me to Jannah and to keep me away from An-Nar. So the Prophet ﷺ said, حَوْلَهَا نُدَنْدِن. The supplication of yours is the same supplication of myself and Mu'adh, but maybe we phrase it differently. But by the end, this is what we're asking Allah for, to enter Al-Jannah and to be saved from An-Nar. So say it in your mother tongue, no problem. As far as the increase and decrease of Iman, lot of factors. In brief, at-ta'ah, obedience, a good deed leads to another good deed. So the virtues of doing a good deed is it inspires you and it makes you inclined to do another good deed. As well as in the case of sinning, it's bad omen, it's terrible influence, it leads to another sin. So smoking doesn't stop at smoking, it leads to another. Watching porn doesn't stop at watching porn, it leads to another. Dating and perhaps adultery and even homosexuality. You know, one thing leads to another. MashaAllah, since the beginning of Ramadan, how many parts of the Quran, how many juz, Sister Sarah, did you recite? I bet you recited maybe 12. So this way you recited 2 parts of the Quran every day? Maybe. And before Ramadan, you were struggling to read 1 page. What happened in Ramadan? Fasting enhances doing other good deeds. Fasting hinders the person and depresses the desire to look at what Allah has forbidden, to say something which is not permissible, to backbite, to slander. So one good deed inspires the person to do another. So in brief, because there is a long list of what increases one's Iman. Doing good deeds would increase the Iman. Doing bad deeds would definitely decrease the Iman, and it would have a bad influence of being inclined to do other bad deeds. So now you're fasting, you read Quran, you find yourself automatically, you don't want to watch TV. Okay, you know what I mean. You don't want to waste any time on the social media that you used to waste before. Why? Because I would rather read 1 part of the Quran and earn 100,000 hasana or good deeds, and so on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Haidar from Finland. Yeah, Haidar. Assalamu alaikum, Haidar.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Sheikh, Ramadan Kareem to you.
Barakallah feek, and to you too. May Allah bless you and your family. Go ahead, Haidar.
I have a question regarding the small decorations we put at home. For example, I live in Finland, and because I have a small daughter, so my wife tried to make Ramadan special for her. So we made some decorations of mosque and different kind of decorations for my kid. So I was reading somewhere that they said that these kind of decorations could be a bid'ah. Could you kindly tell us something about that.
No, Akhi Haidar, go ahead and even assist your little daughter in putting the decorations and the zina for Ramadan and showing your happiness with the entrance of the month of Ramadan. If you haven't done it yet, do it. There is no innovation in that. Showing your happiness and showing your kids that's a very special time. I was even assisting my kids in doing so. No problem. Barakallah fikum. Let me take Zainab's second question about the blood transfusion for a fasting person. As far as giving blood, it does not invalidate fasting if it is not a huge quantity. While receiving blood, there is a difference of opinion. Whether it invalidates fasting or not. So my opinion is to come out of this dispute because it's something unprecedented. It's contemporary, receiving or blood transfusion in general. So even you find the two great shuyukh, Sheikh Ibn Baz is of the view that it invalidates fasting, while Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen says no, it doesn't invalidate fasting. The Fatwa Council of Egypt in the past says no, it doesn't invalidate fasting. And so there is a disputing views in this regard. If it is necessary to take it during Ramadan, go ahead and take it and just make up another day after Ramadan, inshallah. We'll take a short break and we'll be back, inshallah, in a few minutes. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Ibrahim from Nigeria is our first caller in this segment. Assalamu alaikum. Ibrahim, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I wish you can just say your question right away, Ibrahim.
Hello?
Your question, please.
Okay, I read a hadith about playing any game with dice that it's haram, ya Sheikh.
Naam, true.
Yeah, so I want to know, there is a game we do play on mobile phone that has a dice. Is it also haram?
It is the same, Akhi.
Okay, it's the same?
Yes, because it's simply based on gambling and luck. There is no effort or intelligence in it. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum. Ra'is from Italy. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah wa shukrulillah. You know, Ra'is, if they just said Ra'is of Italy, you would have been the president or the prime minister of Italy. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Rais Baloch. Basically, Sheikh, I'm from Pakistan, a place called Balochistan.
Yes.
But I'm living in Italy and I'm living my life here.
Okay.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask a question about, in my country, there are many mullahs, you know, they call it mullah, the Islamic teachers.
Yes.
And my question is that I have seen many mullahs over there that their knowledge is about Islam is not up to that extent, but they are always telling like wrong information to the ummah. And as our population is not so much educated there, and they start following them extremely. And a person like educated but not look like a mullah, and he goes and tells them that this is wrong or something to those people, but they say, no, our mullah says it has to be like this. Like someone is like a small example, if mullah says that you don't pray for Jummah, you will be considered like a non-Muslim. This is my question.
طيب, first of all,
and my
you have another question, Ra'is. Go ahead. You're Ra'is, so it's okay. Go ahead.
I think Surah Waqia increases your risk or increases in wealth. This is what I wanted to know.
Okay. Rais from Italy got your question. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Saeed from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sheikh. My question is regarding the shares. So I work for a European company. It gave me the shares on annual basis. If these shares are halal to have, I mean, considering that the company might involve in some kind of interest activities. My second part of the question is, they gave us these shares and they are restricted for 3 years time period. And after 3 years, I can avail these shares, I can cash or I can use that shares. So do I need to pay zakat on both types, the restricted or the one which is available to me? I usually don't encash those shares. They are there with as a shares with the company.
Yeah.
And the third part of the question is that if I missed to pay this zakat last year on these shares, if this is due, what shall I do now? Thanks.
For the restricted, is it absolutely restricted, or if you were to cash them, you would lose about 30 or 40%? What is it?
3 years part-time period, they are absolutely restricted.
But before the 3 years, it's restricted to cash them.
Yes.
Okay.
After 3 years, I can cash them.
I got your question. Abu Safwan. Assalamu alaikum, Abu Safwan.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, ya Abu Safwan. It's been a long while. Are you in Canada or in Kuwait?
No, I'm in Kuwait. I locked out. My family is in Canada, so I'm all alone.
That's a lot better for you. That's a lot better for you and safer now. Go ahead.
Inshallah. Okay, Sheikh, I have a question. It's a little twisted. I bought 3 pieces of land in Pakistan.
MashaAllah.
And out of that, we intend to sell and build a house, but my children not agree because my one son he's a special needs. They say he cannot leave after retirement. So this is the background. So 2 lands are there. The third is in a fraud land. I bought it, but now I come to know there is no land. It is a fraud. So it means Allah knows whether I'll get it or not. So I have 2 pieces of land right now in my hand. Appears okay. So my question is, when I calculate the zakat, what will be the value, the actual value which I paid for the piece of land when I purchased, or it is a market speculation or market value which may or may not be under the present circumstances. And the third option, the fraud land, shall I calculate? Because I think, I don't know, I'll get it or not. The second question is, actually, this land, whatever I have, I bought a house in Canada because I don't want to go to the bank and take a loan. So I take this money from one of the friends, and I put the 3 lands, including the disputed one, as a rahan, as a collateral. In case if I cannot pay for any reason, or if I die, and my children could not pay, so these 3 pieces of land will be for him. So my question is, since I bought a house against these 3, okay, I'm trying to pay the monthly, but I don't know exactly. So this is a rahan. Till the payment of completed, I cannot sell it. So what is the status? First I pay on the market price or only on the 2 pieces of land? And 3, shall I take this rahan as a, but I don't want, Allah knows, Allah may save me, I don't want as a scapegoat, this thing. So this is my question, what is the status of the zakat, because I have to calculate it.
طيب, Barakallah feek, Brother Abu Safwan. Brothers and sisters, if you bought any land and your intention to build or not to build or to keep it, and then anything happens, you have changed the intention or whatever, this land is not zakatable, whether it is big or small. If you sell it, you pay the zakah for 1 year. Once you receive the money, you pay the zakah once on it for only 1 year. But if a person is a relator, he's a real estate agent, he is a merchant, he buys lots, and in order to sell them, that is that's his business, that is his profession. So whatever he purchased with the intention of selling is zakatable once the zakah is due. Otherwise, Abu Safwan, your properties shouldn't be zakatable because you're not selling them. You're planning to build a house on one of them or do whatever with the rest. So if you sell them in the future, inshallah, just pay the zakah once for 1 year and that's it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you to recover the lots which you said that it was a fraud. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad, Australia. Muhammad from Australia. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sheikh, I just got a question for you regarding the mushriks of Quraysh prior to the prophethood, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A lot of them had names like Abdullah or Islamic names, and I was just wondering how they were worshipping idols with such beautiful names.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how like they were worshipping idols, but some of them had names like Abdullah and Islamic names like that. Where did that come from?
Okay, I got your question, brother Muhammad from Australia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jamil from Kashmir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, can we take an obligatory bath and a shower while standing?
Yes, you can. No problem. And you can take a bath while in the nude.
So one more question I have.
Yes.
Sir, can we play games while we are fasting?
Like what kind of games?
So like PUBG is there, Free Fire is there.
Well, next time I would have to bring one of my kids in order to assist me with the games and the nature of the games. But whatever is permissible to play, if you're not fasting, is permissible to play while fasting, but with a limit, because the daytime of Ramadan is very short, and you better take advantage of this time of increasing the balance of your good deeds through reading Quran, offering the nawafil, making dhikr and tasbih. But if playing games outside Ramadan, if that game is halal to play, then it is halal to play if you're fasting. I'm not really sure about the PUBG. I don't know the nature of those games. I didn't really study well. I didn't do my homework. So I'm just giving you a general answer. Barakallah fikum. Milad and Milad from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Milad.
Alaikum salam, ya Sheikh. Can you hear me?
What time is it? Yes, go ahead, Akhi Milad.
Hayakallah. My question is, I need advice. So, there was a brother who he got married. He was a Shia a long time ago. He got married, and then he got married, and his in-laws did not know. They did not know that he used to be Shia, and then when they found out, now they're putting pressure on the bride to divorce. What advice can you give?
What is he right now, Milad? What is he? What is he practicing?
Oh, he's on Manhaj al-Salaf.
Let's forget about the parents of the girl. They don't have any access to her. It is between the woman and her husband, and she shouldn't be obeying them in this respect. If the man is a Muslim and practicing Islam, no, nahi, nada. Okay? The answer is no. Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Nadia from the USA.
Yes, Spencer, West Virginia, USA. Actually, I am from the Philippines, and then I'm working here. Shaykh, my question is, as far as I know, I am the only Muslim here in Spencer, West Virginia, and of course there's no masjid, and I couldn't hear one. I based from I base my prayer times from the application that I have downloaded. And so with the iftar and suhoor. So my problem is whenever it's Maghrib Adhan, I feel like it's still very bright outside. Now, would this invalidate my fasting?
Okay, I got your question, Sister Nadia from West Virginia. Well, I used to be there more than 25 years ago, and subhanallah, same thing happened to me. I was looking for a masjid to offer a prayer. I did not find a single Muslim there. Then we drove like for a couple hours. Then we went to somebody's house and it was a garage. Then finally you found that they were not actually Ahlul Sunnah. So I know how they feel. My advice is to you, Sister Nadia. Number one, with regards to the timetable, you need to confirm that by yourself. Virginia is a beautiful place and there is a beautiful sunrise and sunset. So if you go out and you observe, if you're living in an open area or in the park, and you observe the timetable, let's say 6:30 p.m., and you don't see the sun, mashallah, stick to that schedule so it is accurate. But if you're standing in the street, you can see the sun up, still up, and it says sunset on the application, then forget about the application. Perhaps give it another 5 or 10 minutes after based on your estimate. You keep watching the sunset, okay? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. This is what matters, not the application. The beginning of the nightfall. Barakallah fikum. This is my first, the answer to your question. My advice to you is, I would live somewhere where there are no Muslims. I would go crazy. Sometimes I used to sit by myself whenever I read or recite, and I would just cry. Because, you know, not finding Muslims around you is equal to death. So Sister Nadia, I hope inshallah you have an access to move perhaps to New Jersey, where they will keep you busy all the time, New York City, or any other state, Pennsylvania or upstate New York, they have beautiful masajid, or Connecticut. Thank you. Sister Kulthum had two questions. The first question is, do I have to make a niyyah every day for fasting? What if I don't wake up for Fajr? The niyyah doesn't have to be right after Fajr. I'm going to have iftar inshallah in a little bit. Then I'm going to pray Taraweeh. Taraweeh for what? Ramadan. Why? Because I'm fasting. That is the niyyah. Formulating an intention is not by sitting and contemplating and saying, oh God, I intend to fast tomorrow. No, it's in your heart. You grab a day to eat or a sahur meal. Why you're eating this time? Because I'm fasting tomorrow. This is the niyyah. So the niyyah is in the heart. Intending before you go to sleep, I'm fasting tomorrow, or I'm fasting for the whole month of Ramadan. Okay? So if you oversleep, it doesn't matter, because you're already planning intentionally that you're fasting tomorrow. Do you have any other plan? No. Then you're fasting, and that should be your intention. Giving zakat to somebody who has already a piece of land. Not everyone who owns a flat or a house or has a lot is rich. No, not necessarily. And that's why my answer shouldn't be taken for granted. If you know that somebody who is a doctor, a school principal, but you personally know this person is struggling to make it. He has a lot of kids. His income is barely enough for him, or even is not enough, and he borrows money to feed his kids. This person, despite the fact that he has a house and he has a car, he is eligible for zakah. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين. Is he faqir? He's even miskin, sheikh. He doesn't have saving to buy food for a year, let alone 6 months, or no, he doesn't have. So in this case, this person is faqir. Al-faqir is not only the person who's walking in the street begging for a bite or for a meal. There are a lot of people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا يسألون الناس إلحافا. لا يسألون الناس إلحافا. They never beg. They never ask people for help. They may go to sleep hungry and suppress their hunger and ask their kids to sleep without food, and they wouldn't ask for any person to assist them financially. So it is also our duty to find out about them. Sister Fawzia, and that is the last call. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Brother Salah?
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah wa shukrullah. Barakallah fikum.
Thank you so much for picking up my call. I was really hoping that my call connects because it was really important for me to ask. I have a couple of questions today.
Okay.
The first is, can we give zakat to Shia? If we can, then that's fine. But if we don't, I have paid zakat in past few years to some Shia families to pay again. So my first question is this. And my second question is, I'm hoping to do that i'tikaf can be done this year at home as masjids are closed in UK. But what if during i'tikaf the woman has does she need to do qada again, or she can continue? If you just let me know these questions, please.
Okay, got your questions, Sister Fawzia. We ran out of time though, but I also have to answer Sister Nabila from Bangladesh. She has a maid and she is on vacation due to the COVID-19 for a couple of months. Can we pay her from the zakah because she is not on salary? Let me share with all the viewers. If you have maids, drivers, assistants, teachers for the school of your kids, employees whom you know that their salary is not enough for them and they're poor, give them from your zakah, provided you don't ask them to do an extra work for you, or otherwise that will be perceived as a payment towards the work that they will do. They work 8 hours, that's it. They only work indoor, you don't send them outdoor, so that they would not perceive as this money is a compensation for an extra task that they will have to do. A maid, a teacher, a sheikh, a muhaffaz, a person who's teaching your kids, he's faqir. The maid is faqira, is poor. Not only due to the pandemic COVID-19 and being unemployed now, give them. When the bus driver comes to you and say, I'm so sorry, because of the quarantine, we're not working, and he was, he calculated his year based on the payment that he's collecting from you. Here, no problem. He's not working anymore. Give him from the zakah and give him even more. Those people who are working hard to provide for their families instead of begging, we have to look for them. We don't have to wait for them to ask. We should console them and support them financially. Lot of people in their mindset, faqir is a beggar. Faqir is a person who doesn't have a roof to shelter him. Faqir is a person who's wearing dirty clothes. No, not necessarily. You have a lot of employees who are working for you. Your HR can find out who is desperately in need. This person's father is in the hospital. His mother is dying. His wife is going through cancer, whatever. So you know about the case of this person? Give him an envelope. And as I was just telling my mother the other day when she was saying, give that much to this person and this, I said, honey, habibati, ummi, my mother, you don't have to divide it among too many people. It can just suffice for a few people, so that give them enough to take care of them, at least for a few months. She said, but Habibi, there are a lot of people who are in need. I said, yes, we cannot cater for everyone, but we do as much as we can. May Allah bless you all. So if she is not on, she's not currently working, and by law she has still to get paid, you pay her from the zakah in addition to her salary. If she's laid off, or if she's on unpaid vacation, give her from the zakah and give her more than the salary as well. Akhi Rais, I cannot just close up without taking the question of the Rais, the president. Talking about the mullahs here and there and who are not educated. Akhi, nowadays, even if you want to buy a computer, a phone, if you want to buy anything, vegetables, there are a lot of applications online. You can order from Amazon. You can check out the rating of the seller of the item. Do the same with the sheikh, akhi, with the mullah, with the person whom you're taking your fatwa from, with the person who's teaching your kids how to read Quran and teaching them the deen. going to the masjid and praying behind somebody, you don't have a choice in this respect. But, I'm very particular as whom to consult with regards to my questions and fatwa. And I have tens of thousands of messages pending, questions. I cannot cater for all of them. And some people are kind of abusive. Why aren't you answering? You're arrogant. What can I do? Trying to answer as many people as possible. But there are a lot of other respected shuyukh and scholars, mashallah, you can consult. If you know this person is not educated, or if this person is very prejudiced, he doesn't have a degree, he happened to be mullah, why do you bother and go and ask him? Why? Well, give yourself a hard time. Those people, we need to lay them off, not give them a job in a nice way, which is don't ask them questions. Who asks them questions? People are looking for, making things easy, haram, halal, and so on. Akhi Saeed from the United Arab Emirates, the shares that you take from the company are lawful. Then when you have a full control, you can sell them, then pay the zakah once you sell them. The restricted shares, if you're not allowed to collect them, then you pay the zakah only when you sell them and you cash them. For the shares which are open for you to sell at any time, you include them among your money to pay zakah on. Sister Fawziya, pay your zakah to practicing Muslims, for God's sake, to practicing Muslims who are following the mainstream of the ummah. If you know that you happen to pay your zakah to anyone who's not Muslim at any time, the zakah has to be repaid because it did not reach those who are eligible, and it's a dain, a debt that I owe the poor Muslims. We really ran out of time, so if there is any pending question, inshallah we still have tomorrow for the week. Until then, I leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.